Good morning. Thank you for letting me speak to you all and share my statement. Saturday, February 10th started as a beautiful day, the type of day that I enjoy walking out at Point Defiance Park. I've often walked these trails both with friends and by myself, and on this day the park was full of visitors. As I walked the Blue Trail, a trail I've walked many times before, many people came on and off the path. Some passed me running or walking. I was just strolling slowly. At one point, I'd seen a man come onto the trail, also just walking, and I thought nothing of it. But a short while later, I heard footsteps come up behind me, so I turned around and was surprised to see him 1 foot from my face. I figured I'd somehow been in his way and offered to let him pass me. He smiled, looked me in the eye, and said, "No, I'm good, thanks." He looked like any normal guy. So I just smiled back and replied, "Okay, I guess I'm just walking slowly." And I moved to the other side of the 6-foot wide trail. Once I turned my back to him and took several steps, I heard even faster footsteps and felt the first blow to my head. I immediately started screaming for help, that I was being attacked, as blow after blow struck my head, the back of my neck, and my shoulders. My eyes were clouded by the blood pouring down my face as I tried to fight back and run. I screamed more but didn't hear anyone reply and realized I was all alone in this part of the trail. He then got me to the ground, knocking me partially off the path, where he sat on my legs to prevent me from kicking him and pinned my arms at my side, leaving my only range of motion in my head and my neck, and from my elbows to my hands. That was when I saw the knife. I begged him to let me go, that I could give him money, that I would give him anything he wanted if I could live. That was when he made it verbally explicit that his intent was to kill me, and he told me to tilt my neck back so he could end my pain. I fought with what I had, biting him once, but also biting the knife at some point. I used my hands to try and shield my face and neck from the knife, and at one point he did cut my neck near my carotid artery, and I thank God every day that he missed. I continued screaming that this man was trying to kill me until I finally heard someone yell back, "Is everything all right?" To which I again screamed for help, and a woman and her husband ran up to us, as well as another couple. She told the man to not kill me and tried to get his attention off me, but he turned back to go for my neck again. At this point, she came up and kicked him in the head, where he ran off down the trail. I laid there on the ground while the woman and another bystander cradled my head and face, keeping pressure on my wounds. I couldn't breathe without excruciating pain, and it kept crying out how much I wanted to live, how I didn't want to die out there. The two women kept pressure on my head and my wounds and reassured me that I was not going to die when EMTs arrived, stabilized me, and rushed me to the ER for surgery. Of the physical injuries, I suffered multiple lacerations and scarring to the hands, neck, and face, some that make it hard to believe that I still have the use of both my eyes and ears. I am recovering from a pneumothorax from a deep stab wound in the shoulder muscle and from being thrown to the ground, but I still struggle with breathing normally. My left arm and side are so much weaker than they were before, and I can't pick anything up without help. My sisters, while cleaning my hair that had been matted with blood and dirt, a process that took 3 days, lost count of the number of staples, but with the multiple skull fractures, I have more than 120 staples in my skull, neck, and upper back. I used to be physically active and social, going outdoors for runs and hikes, going to the gym with my friends to rock climb. Now, sitting up, sleeping, and walking around my house cause me pain, and I feel completely helpless. I know that someday when I fully recover, I will never take my mobility for granted again. Of the emotional injuries, I can't begin to describe the fear that has enveloped my life. It's hard to see media reports and social media comments that state my injuries were non-threatening and that I was stable. Even if technically true, it feels so far from what I experienced. All I could think as I lie on the ground trying to fight him off was, this can't be how I die. There's so much I still haven't done. I had no doubt that I was about to die out there, and I just kept thinking of all my loved ones that I would never see again. I was one wrong move from being killed. I was completely alone, and I still can't believe that I survived. I can't believe I've been able to see my friends and family again these past few weeks, and that they aren't actively planning my funeral right now. My mental health feels anything but stable. I've always been a trusting person, but now anytime I see a man walking alone, even if I'm safe inside my house, I freeze. I can't stand the sound of footsteps behind me, even if I know who it is. I'm constantly looking over my shoulder. That's if I even leave my house, which at this point I've only done for medical appointments, and even then I'm still terrified. I can't even be alone in my house anymore. Where I once enjoyed my independence and peaceful solitude, I now need constant company and distractions to the point where I can't fall asleep without the TV on and another person sleeping in the guest room. I still love the city of Tacoma and the beauty of its parks, especially Point Defiance. And until this week, I've never not felt safe out there. But the lack of security at Point Defiance and the fact that the park was still open the next day to the public when he was still out there is shocking to me. I know that now security cameras have been installed, which I'm incredibly grateful for, but it feels like that should have been the bare minimum. Sadly, it's going to be a while before I feel comfortable enough to return, and even then I won't do so without a group of friends around me, and I'll still be looking over my shoulder. I'd like to thank the detectives working with the Tacoma Police Department and the Pierce County Sheriff's Office on this case. When I first described in detail my attack, they were incredibly sympathetic and swore that this was their top priority. Their constant contact that they've kept with me and my loved ones throughout this process has been hugely helpful and has put my mind at ease, always keeping me in the loop as to the progress of the investigation. Their concern for my well-being and safety has been more than I could have ever expected, and I thank them for giving me the opportunity to speak today. And to my fellow Tacomans, I'd like to say that our city is only as safe as we make it. And if you see someone in danger, please do what you can to help them. Any action could make the difference between life and death. I wouldn't be alive to talk to you if the two couples who came to my aid had just dismissed my cries for help. The woman who came to my rescue and kicked the man in the head saw he had a knife, knew it was risky, and still intervened. Later, she told me that she would kick 100 guys in the head to save my life. I'm pleading with everyone to be aware of your surroundings. I didn't have any earbuds in or my phone out. I could hear him approaching, and I still didn't have time to react. If you continue to walk in these parks, please do so with a friend. And finally, please, anyone that has any information on the man, or if you may have seen him, I'm imploring you to come forward and help with catching him. Thank you.